Did any of that go? I didn't have my mic on. Let me start again. Apologies. Anyway, okay, so welcome to our Monday, September 20th council meeting. I'm calling the meeting to order. Are there any addendums or corrections to the agenda? Seeing none, I have a motion moved by Councillor Baumeister, seconded by Councillor Dickinson. Be it resolved that the agenda for the September 2021 virtual regular meeting of council be approved as presented. Any, all in favor? All right. Remember, I'm going back to the all in favor since we're in the chamber. That's the easiest way to go. And if you need to speak, just put your hand up and I'll shut my mic off and away you go. Okay. So I'm looking for approval of the minutes. I have a motion from Councillor Dickinson, second by Councillor Woods. Be it resolved that the minutes of the virtual, regular, public, and closed meetings of council held on September 7th, 2021 be approved as presented. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Any presentations or announcements? Mr. Baumeister.
So first of all, happy election day to everybody. I just want to do a shout out to Public Works and to Harry for the installations about almost 2 weeks now, the LED radar sign on a hydro pole on Harris Street in the eastbound lane. I know Harry had to deal with all kinds of fun with hydro and permits to put it on a pole, stuff like that, but it's installed, and thank you very much, Harry.
Thank you, sir. If there is nothing else, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none, move on to our public meeting. This is the purpose of this public meeting is section 357 of the Municipal Act for property tax adjustments. This public meeting is being held in accordance with the Ontario Municipal Act, section 357, to receive finance report 2021-07 and approve the following applications 08-21.
Could all persons in attendance for the public meeting please email their full name, address, and postal code to clerks@gt.on.ca. Please note that this information and the information of those who speak on this item will appear within the meeting minutes. Addresses provided will be used to circulate future notices and/or decisions about this matter to attendees.
Okay, we will now ask the Director of Finance to review the report. Linda, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor White and members of council. I'm here today to present Finance Report 2021-07 and its report regarding Section 357 property tax adjustments. Property tax adjustments under Section 357 of the Municipal Act are applications that can be made with the municipality for the current year or 2 previous years for a number of reasons, including demolition of buildings, fires, or gross manifest errors. The process for Section 357s is that the MPAC will prepare an assessment report with the effective date that enables the township to calculate the tax adjustments. Before the adjustment can be made by the township to the property tax account, a resolution from council must be passed. We have one Section 357 application today, and this is for a property that was removed due destroyed by fire.
Thank you, Linda. Are there any applicants present or online who wish to comment on this matter?
To make a comment on this matter, please click on the raise your hand option located at the center of your control bar at the bottom of the screen. Dial *9 to raise your hand if connecting by phone. I will acknowledge each attendee raising their hand in turn. When you are acknowledged, the host will unmute your microphone. You will be required to accept this action on your device. At that point, as in regular public meetings, please state your name and address prior to speaking or asking a question. When you are finished speaking, the host will mute your microphone. Seeing nobody, Mayor White.
All right, thank you. As there are no folks on for this, the public meeting is now concluded. Thank you for that. I have a resolution here. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wood, second by Councillor Baumeister. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Guelph Eramosa has received report 2021-07 regarding property tax adjustments under Section 357 of the Municipal Act 2001, and further that Council hereby approves the following application as recommended by Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, application number application 8, 2021. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Moving on to financial statements. Turn the floor back over to you, Linda.
Yes, thank you. It's a finance day here today, I guess. And I'm here to present Finance Report 2108. And it's to present the financial statements for the period ending June 30th, 2021. The financial statements for the period ending June 30th, 2021 include the consolidated statement of financial position, statement of summary of revenue and expenditures, and along with detailed schedules of revenue and expenditures for each department. Final tax bills were issued in July, with the first installment date due the end of August, and the second one will be due on October the 29th. With regard to property taxes receivable, this is something we've been keeping an eye on with the whole COVID situation. And I wanted to let council know at the end of June, there was a total of 827,000 in property tax arrears, which represented about 5.48% of the total 2021 intern tax levy. Comparing that to the year before, total taxes receivable at the same period were 1.1 million, and that represented about 7.98%. So you can see our receivables year over year came down a little bit during that period of time. I took a look, because we're in September and this is for the end of June, I took a look at the receivables at the end of August just to see where we were sitting, and we were very close to the year before. So that's a good sign. We're doing okay as far as the receivables with taxes are concerned. Provincial restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic continue to impact the township through the second quarter of 2021. The province lifted some of the restrictions and moved to step 3 of the roadmap to reopen on July the 16th. With the facility closures and the limits to programming, sports field, and recreation rentals, revenue for Parks and Recreation was down significantly. So I went back over the last 3 years just to kind of see where we were. And at the end of June 2021, it showed that we were about 27% of our total revenue that we anticipated for 2021. If I look back through the year before at 2020, we were at 38%. And in 2019, by the end of June, we had realized about 52% of our revenue. So you can see how that those closures of those facilities have impacted our financial statements. Having said that, the good news is that the province has reopened to step 3. So Robin's facilities are open and moving forward within the restrictions and the regulations provided by the province. And I think Robin can contest that our rentals are up significantly. There are interests in people getting out there and get moving again. So that's a good sign. We will continue to monitor that. Council is also aware that there is funding provided by the province for the COVID-19 recovery. So we haven't transferred anything from there yet. We'll wait till the end of the year kind of to see where we sit. Other than that, there's not a lot to mention. I'll go through a couple points that we may have. I spoke with Harry today, and Township Road 3, former Township Road 3 on in Bruce's area has been completed and was open in time for the school buses running. All the other projects are moving forward as they can. Couple items just to point out. On page 9 of 43, you'll see, page 8 of 43, you'll see that our grants for administration is come in over budget, and that's because we did receive extra funding through the province, and that's where that's recorded. You'll see on page 12, again, there's a little bit of grant revenue in fire as well, and that's Jim received funding from the fire marshal's office for training, so that's showing up there, this is good. This is additional revenue that's come in to help us out. On page 14 under bylaw, you can see that supplies and expenditures are going over budget, and that's because we purchased the body camera, but that was funded through the modernization grant. So there again, that won't won't impact the tax situation and will come in right where we're supposed to be. And I'm happy to answer any other questions that council may have on any of the accounts that they see where there was any differences.
All right, Linda, thank you very much. Council? Bruce?
It's not, well, I guess it's not really, it's more of a curiosity. When you take the tax from residential and farm, 25 million and 3 something, and then if you add commercial and industrial, like what's the percentage roughly? I was going to calculate, but I never got around to doing it.
Percentage of,
Like it's a pretty good chunk. Like if you add the commercial and the industrial, it's over 4 million.
right.
Is that
The percentage of the total,
yeah? Am I reading?
Councillor Dickinson would be, let me just see here.
Like, what is the percentage of commercial industrial in our total
Yeah,
tax?
that's what I'm trying to-
intake? Okay,
Just out of curiosity,
Sure,
because it
yeah.
seems like it was more than I thought it was going to be. Oh,
that's everybody's. We only get 20. Is this the same 24?
Sorry,
It's closer to 1 million, I think.
it comes through about 97%. The majority for residential and farming.
So commercial industrials by definition, then 3%.
Yeah.
And to us, that's about 1
Oh,
million.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I included, my apologies. It's 86%. I included commercial in my total. So we are heavily assessed with residential and farm, more so than commercial and industrial.
so commercial industrial 14%. Right. Okay.
On the flip side of that, at this point, both industrial and commercial pay a higher ratio of taxes than farming and residential.
Right. It's farming's 0.25, commercial industrial is usually 1.4.
4, yeah,
Residential is a 1.
and
so-
farming's 0.25.
That's right, 0.25. So it's a ratio. Okay. And that's the piece we'd like to grow, right? Is that 14, 15%.
Right.
Thank you, Bruce. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you, Linda. That's nice to see. It looks like we're plodding along much like we did last year, although everything seems to be well in hand and in order and being taken care of. So good job. We'll just see how this year ends and begin to start our next budget. So thank you, Linda. I have a motion here moved by Councillor Wood, second by Councillor Baumeister. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa has received Finance Department Report 2108, presenting the financial statements for the period ending June 30th, 2021, and that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa receives Finance Report 2108, presenting the financial statements for the period ending June 30th, 2021. All in favor? That is carried. Public Works. Turn this over to Road 3 man.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of council. Not a road project today per se, but it's Public Works Report 2105 regarding boundary road agreements. In this case, it's with Halton Region for the Milton Eramosa Town Line, which is also known as Regional Road 32 within Halton Region in the town of Milton. So per the report, the township has joint jurisdiction over various boundary roads with several different municipalities, 5 of them in fact. And through the municipal act, we're able to enter into an agreement to share or have one or both municipalities take responsibility for the maintenance. And there's various financial agreements that can be made either to, offset costs or one pay the other, et cetera. In this case, this is the second one that we're updating this year with the Woolwich agreement recently completed. We've gone through this with staff at Halton Region and our own solicitor. And the agreement included with the bylaw has been vetted by all. Just a few brief highlights from it is that this is for the Boundary Road, Milton Eramosa Town Line, Regional Road 32. It'll be maintained per the minimum maintenance standards. In this case, all the maintenance work is completed by the township and it'll be reimbursed 1/2 of all those costs. We track those and that cost is reimbursed annually. It's a 10-year agreement with an automatic 5-year renewal unless terminated and renegotiated. We're to maintain insurance. The maintenance services are included in the agreement. Capital upgrades can be initiated by either party. Typically, it would be the one doing the maintenance, but sometimes if one municipality is doing work in an area, it may make sense to include, such as the recently completed work on Woolwich Town Line, where Woolwich was doing some surface treating in their area and included the boundary road, even though it was our maintenance responsibility. And then capital planning, in the case of Halton, we would just go through on a collaborative process where we review the condition and regular dialogue if there's anything planned. Again, there's no financial costs associated with agreement, nominal, some legal time review on the agreement, but then that's covered under the operational budget in terms of our legal allowance. And so just in summary, looking for authorization for council to execute this agreement to spell out the maintenance requirements for the next 10 years. And the agreements there as the bylaws included later on in the agenda. Just if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, Harry, thank you very much. Anything from council? Councilor Baumeister?
I think I asked this last time, Harry, when you brought the Woolwich agreement forward. What's next on the docket for the boundary road agreements?
Sorry, Councillor, the audio is very faint.
The next boundary road agreement, Harry, what's that? What's that? Is it, yeah.
It's kind of been, I'd like to finish off the remaining 3, that being Center, Wellington, Town of Erin, and Township of Puss Lynch. Ideally, maybe the Center Wellington one will be very similar to Woolwich because they have a common agreement between them. And I can probably use that template for the Town of Erin, where those are, each municipality maintains a portion. Puss Lynch will be a little bit different in that we do the maintenance. It'll be similar to the Halton one. So there's good templates to move forward with. I'll reach out to my counterparts at each and see which one has the greater pressure to move forward. Ideally, it would be nice to bring all 3 back at the same time, but that may be optimistic.
Anything further? Well, thanks for doing this, Harry. These are always, the old days of handshakes and stuff are long gone. So getting these things in place is fantastic and it helps us to, put stuff together going forward. So thanks for doing the work on that. I have a motion moved by Councilor Marshall, seconded by Councilor Baumeister. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa has received Public Works Department Report 2105 regarding Halton Region Boundary Road Agreement, and that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa adopts bylaw 52/2021 to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a boundary road agreement with Halton Region. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. All right. Information Technology Services Agreement. Turn the floor over to you, Ian.
Mayor and members of the committee, this report's before you today to request council approval to extend our existing IT services agreement. If you recall, as noted in the report, there was a county-wide IT study started in 2019, but it was delayed due to the pandemic. One of the recommendations of the report was for the municipalities to work together, given that the majority of us have contracted IT services, and go out to tender with a larger shared agreement. But that also was predicated on all of us spending time working together, developing common standards, policies, equipment needs. So for the past 18 months, that has been set aside and we're at the point where our existing agreement's up and the work probably on a shared services agreement, a new tender won't start until sometime next year, meaning it'll probably be 2022 by the time, or the end of 2022, early 23, before we're going to bring this back to council. So we've discussed with our service provider, we've negotiated a 2-year extension. The approximate annual increase is 5% a year for the next 2 years, which is generally in line with inflation right now. And actually the studies show that our rates were probably in the median for what was available out there right now. So we're asking council's approval to extend our existing IT services agreement for 2 years.
All right, thank you, sir. Pretty straightforward. Anybody? All right, that sounds reasonable. Can't get the other agreement. Let's do that agreement. So I have a motion moved by Council Wood, second by Council Marshall. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa has received CAO Department Report 2111 regarding the Information Technology Services Agreement, and that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa authorizes staff to proceed with a 2-year extension of the existing service agreement with HLB System Solutions. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Department updates, standing item. Nothing to add at this point. Okay. Does anybody have any COVID questions? All right, I have a motion moved by Councilor Wood, second by Councilor Baumeister. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa has received verbal updates from department heads regarding operations during the COVID-19 pandemic. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. All right. Let's do this bylaw and then we'll go into close. If everybody's all right with that. I have 13.1. I lost. Okay, I have a bylaw. I have moved by Councilor Dickinson, second by Councilor Marshall. Be it resolved that bylaw 52, 2021, being a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a boundary road agreement between the corporation of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa and the regional municipality of Halton be read 3 times and finally passed in open session. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. I have a motion to move into closed here. I have a motion moved by Councilor Wood, second by Councilor Dickinson. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Guelph, Eramosa rise and sit in closed session under section 239 of the Municipal Act for the purposes of 14.1, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. 14.2, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land for municipal purposes, municipal land matter. All in favor to move into closed? That is carried. Thank you. We are now in closed. So I don't know how you want to do that technical. I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Mayor White. Those participating in closed session, please remain on the Zoom call. Could all members of the public listening to the meeting disconnect at this time? Once the closed session portion of the meeting has concluded, the live stream will resume and the meeting will once again be open to the public. You can find the live stream on our website at www.get.on.ca under events. Should any member of the public not disconnect themselves, they will be removed from the meeting and will not be able to rejoin.
Can I ask that I don't think I was needed for this, Ian? Anyone?
Ian says no.
Okay. Have a good afternoon.
See you, Harry.